Ladies and gents, what is going on? Welcome back to the ProCoach YouTube. Like I said, I was going to be coming back with a heavy force, coming up as frequently as I possibly can. And welcome also to Houston, and welcome to AlphaLand.
Welcome to our new home. This is our 18.5-acre playground, the fantasy factory of fitness. AlphaLand represents a culmination of everything we've worked for over the years and truly believe in. An oasis where individuals come to learn more, dream more, and be more. Because coming together is our beginning. Staying together will be our progress, and working together will be our success.
But I'm here in Houston with my brother, Kyle. After a couple of weeks of cahoots with his partner and surprising him, I wanted to come over and see what it was about. It's a long time since I've seen Kyle. It's obviously the first time I've ever been somewhere like this before, so it would be absolute sacrilege if I didn't come here, shoot some content. We got Izzy on the buttons. He's going to give my brother, I'm going to give him one of them, and we're going to go from there. So we're going to get some push in. We're going to do a physique update with Kyle. We're going to do a Q&A, and more than anything, we're just going to have some fun, show you guys what this place is, and just give a sick experience. Let's get it. Right, so boom, we're in gym 1. So AlphaLand isn't really a gym. It's more so a facility, and it's definitely something that I didn't fully understand until I got here. So the gym is split up into 3 different parts. You got gym 1, then gym 2 is in there, and then gym 3. So this is kind of more your commercial vibe, where the equipment is a little bit more high standard. It gets a little bit more raw as you get into gym 2. And then gym 3 is bare bones, and I believe it's a mock-up, or it's inspired by Christian's first gym. Yeah. Am I right in saying that? Yeah. Which is cool as fuck. You know, obviously this is the product of Mr. Guzman, who is the fitness OG, who I don't think you need to be a bodybuilder, an influencer, or anyone else in this industry to respect massively. So this is cool as shit. We're gonna get into it. Dumbbell laterals first. Sir. Big delts necessary for Kyle next year, so getting straight into it.
Get it, baby. Yep. Come on. Come on. Come on. 2 at least. That's nice. Good you. Come on.
Come on. Oh, okay.
Lovely.
Damn.
Beautiful.
Right, so one quick one on lateral raises. Again, I think I spoke about this before on previous videos on Instagram once or twice. One of the things that you'll often find people do and kind of limit themselves on doing a lateral raise is the ability to actually get that feeling of it getting short, like where that muscle is kind of contracted in that top end. A lot of the time the issue with that is people are so focused on the traps down cue that they forget that the kind of movement of the scapula and the elevation of the upper arm is necessary to get a full contraction through the delt. So when you're doing this, you really want to be getting that shoulder lifted and actually allowing that trap to lift, because that's the only way you can actually get that upper arm up to a point where it fully contracts the delt that you're actually trying to hit. So don't allow traps down to be a limiting factor. Be conscious of them being stable, but don't limit them in terms of their movement. There it is. Good. Come on. How many do we have? Let's go. Come on. Good. Good, mate. Come on. Let's keep it going. Nice and sharp. Nice and tight. And when you need to get that body language in. Good. Come on. Come on. Swing if we need to, baby. Just get them up there. Let's go. There you go. Come on, Kyle. So pro card reps now, baby. Come on, pro card reps. Yes. Good, Kyle. Well done, mate. Good job. Very good. There we go. That's it. So, again, you know, like structured sets and structured session architecture are a big part of the programming process. But like, in a controlled environment, you know, you can't really get much more control than, you know, 2 feet from your coach. But even just with a good training partner, with good people, with good friends, whoever you know you can trust, don't be afraid to get as nasty with it with training as you need to, you know. Allow to have that structure and combine it with a little bit of that kind of bro-esque fun stuff, and, you know, create some tangible enjoyment in your training, and you're far more likely to stick to it. It's not 1 versus 1, you know. It's how can we combine everything that we understand from science, anecdote, and combine that into the best training experience, not for me, for the athlete, you know, because that's really what I'm focused on.
Good.
Oh.
Come on. Yes. There we go. Yes. There.
Oh.
There.
Oh.
Come on. Yes.
Oh. God damn. Sweet ass. Okay. On that note, one thing that a lot of people won't consider when it comes to pressing movements, selecting pressing movements, setting up pressing movements, is actually the sternum angle. Now, that might seem a little bit hoodoo voodoo and kind of sciencey for a lot of people, but essentially it's the shape of the upper part of your body, like the shape of your torso, how your ribs influence the shape of your back, how your back structure influences the shape of your rib. All of these things kind of coinciding together will have an influence on your sternum angle. So that's essentially the angle by which your sternum faces. So for someone like Kyle, he has quite a low sternum angle in the sense that it's quite shallow. So at a narrow-ish, not even a narrow, excuse me, a low enough incline, nothing too crazy, he's getting all the fibers relative to the upper chest. You know, it's not an angular thing in terms of what you're actually pressing and what you're actually using. It's a positional thing. For some people, they might need to go up at a 60-degree angle. For most, especially for Kyle, who I'm more concerned about than anything to do with me, he is going to need that low enough incline to get across what I believe is one of the biggest pieces missing in his physique, is going to be that upper chest. So again, being focused on positioning is going to help you in the long run in specific areas of growth and specific needs as an athlete.
Yeah, low key, bro, you beiged it up.
Bro, I'm dripped out. I didn't even mean to. Good. That's beautiful, mate. Good. Yes, excellent. Yes, good. That's perfect. 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 Yes, good. Well done. That's good, mate. Well done. Very, very good.
There it goes.
Oh.
Yep. Yep. Well, you got that one. You want that one. Yep. And you finish it. You finish it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Oh. Damn. I got heavy quick. Oh, it was good. Can I take that? That work, baby. Come on, let's go. Yes, good, mate. Well done. Come on, bro. I got you, mate. I got you. Yes, and again. Come on. With me, maybe. With me. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, mate. Good. Push. Good. There she is. Good lad.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
So again, having that, so Kyle does deal with a little bit of a kind of occasional pec injury. We haven't really got diagnosed at all. It's probably some kind of tendonitis, most likely. So like when Kyle trains in the zone, his ability to kind of build up to that level of intensity and that proximity to absolute failure is, you know, 20-30% lesser than that. So having a good spotter, or obviously having your coach on deck, that's obviously going to be a really, really good thing to allow that kind of confidence to build back into the exercises. And despite the fact that I won't be here next time, might be Dan, or maybe he'll be on his own, that confidence carries through.
Yeah.
So again, experience high levels of intensity wherever you can within a level of safety, you know. swinging stuff around, you know, not being conscious of work, not being conscious of effort, not being conscious of execution, you know, it eventually will kick back at you, you know, via injury or a limitation on your actual capacity for progress. You know, there's always time to get nasty with it, there's always time to get swinging, there's always nasty times available in a session. But exercises like this, where the risk to ratio is kind of favouring on that higher end of risk if you're not careful, favour your capacity to get too intense in a safe fashion.
A lot of injuries for a lot of people have patterns of behaviour around them as well. So it's like, we just know straight away, right after prep, it's like, Kyle, with that pec injury, even though you have loads of food and you feel good and you feel strong, first session 2 or 3 didn't go near what I was probably able to do on paper. And then that just gives me that confidence now to be able to grind out a whole entire rep like that where nothing happens. Don't feel anything, don't. So that's what I've noticed about a lot of people's injuries. There's a pattern of behavior. They go and do the same thing again and injure the same thing, doing the same thing that they...
I think it's the lack of attentiveness to, oh, my training might be causing a problem here. Because it couldn't be the training that's causing the problem, because the training is the reason I'm fucking yoked. It's like, first of all, you're 150 pounds soaking wet. Like, chill out. You know. Second of all, if you are becoming frequently injured while training, probably good to look at your training. You know, it's probably not because you sit your fucking car low. You know, it's probably not because you do cardio 4 days a week. It's probably something to do with what you're doing in here. You know, it doesn't mean that you need to slow down. In fact, being a little bit more critiquing of your own training is probably in the long run going to give you more progress. He's inspired.
Ross, get into your YouTuber bags. This is gym 2, guys.
Oh, we're gonna do that. Yeah. Back gym 2. No, we are heading into gym 2, which is a little bit more rough and ready. The only main difference is that the equipment is older, and apparently you can be half naked in here, which is always cool. Not that I will be. You're going to pay for that. Coming soon.
Link in the bio.
Yeah. Only trends.
Yeah.
Now we're going to head into gym 2. We're going to hit some flies, and then we're going to hit some delts. And again, just getting as variable as we can. Like, this place is so fucking cool, man. Like, it's only right that anyone who's never been here sees the place for what it is. Like, everyone sees it on YouTube videos, but I think very few people are kind of here for the first time being like, look how cool it is. So I guess kind of just being able to show you what it's like, showing you how it runs, just giving you an insight into kind of how crazy this facility is, because it's definitely not a gym. And just kind of,
you know, take it for granted. I'm like, yeah, you want to go gym 3 or 2 today?
Nah, it's a legit facility. And I'm like, I've admitted to the boys already, I'm not really like that kind of person, you know? Like, I teach people how to take drugs. No, I'm joking, I don't. I am rough and ready bodybuilding all day, every day, but this place is genuinely appealing to just about anyone, no matter what side of the spectrum of bodybuilding to influence that you fit on. You can find a reason to be here and to enjoy training here full time, genuinely.
There we go. Come on. Come on. There we go.
Okay, go down.
Come on, Rossi. Loads in there. Yep. Come on. Yep. Over there. Yep. Come on. Yep. There we go. On 2. Come on. Go. Drive. And again. Come on. That's the one. Yep. Finish that shit.
Good, there you go. No, we're going to need 2 here, mate. Let's go. Come on. There we go. There you go. Good. Let's finish it 1. There you go. Come on. Yes, good. Come on. Good. Well done, mate. That's it. How to get smoked on one set. Kit like this, generally your kind of judgment calls from pretty much everyone are going to be they either hate it or they love it. There's no real in between. But one of the things that people seem to forget is that like every piece of kit is going to be suitable to certain people, that's a given. But at the same time, it may require you to have a specific setup to make it work for you. So on a machine like this, you'll see that has an individual axis where it rotates. You want to do your best to line the center point of that axis to what the kind of rough center point of your shoulder axis would be, so that the actual axis rotation on both the machine and the joint are as lined up as they possibly can be. And again, you'll generally find the comfort is significantly improved from there. There it is. Straight. Good. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Good. There.
Come on. Come on, Russ. Love it. Come on, come on, come on. Yes. The range ain't shortening yet. Come on, 5 more. Come on. See, it's more. It's there. Don't shorten it. It's not done yet. Come on. Yes. There we go. There we go. Come on. Hit that top. Yep. There we go. Come on. Beautiful. Good shit. Oh.
Come on. Come on. Come on, girl. If you're not doing it, someone else is, big dog. Come on. Come on. Putting Ireland on the map this year, Kyle. Come on. Come on. Man. Bro, it's like nearly 18 degrees and bro, it's like I'm freezing.
Fuck, it's
so you come from Ireland, bro.
It's so cold.
We're sweating at 18 degrees. Sun baby.
Come on. Yes. 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 Come on, come on, come on, come on. Good.
Woo. Literally ran out. Oh, okay, sweet. All right, cool. I suppose some of tricep extensions. So, like, people do, you know, kind of miss the forest for the trees when it comes to tricep extensions a lot of the time. But some of the kind of valuable inputs that people have are pretty good. So, like, the idea of doing your best to align your upper arm with the direction by which the rope and/or the cable and/or whatever other attachment you're using, daisy chain, tends to run, is going to give you that significantly more efficient line of force, because you're going to have that actual output lined up in the direction of the joint as well. So you're not dealing with like crossovers of joint angles and crossovers of tension, kind of pulling joints in different ways. Short term, it's fine. Don't worry too much about it. If you don't have access to something long, it's not going to kill you. Please don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. But where you can afford to, allow yourself to find positions that are as well aligned to joint angles as you possibly can. With no pump. God damn. Nah, nothing wrong with a little bit of a chest pump before you pose. So we're going to take Kyle through some rounds now. So kind of game plan for Kyle while he's getting pumped up now is the kind of success of the last couple of seasons in terms of kind of how well the placings have been, despite them obviously being, you know, non-NPC shows. Obviously, they're still summer shredding shows, they're not necessarily within the NPC, but, you know, the caliber of athlete at these shows is still very, very high. So the fact that, you know, every single time that we've actually taken a step into the summer shredding or into the competitive space, we've left with no less than a top 2. The last 2 seasons being top 1, and then Kyle just quite literally putting on 30 pounds of stage weight within one off season to the next. We're pretty confident now that with the structure that he's carrying through, you know, the kind of the confidence that other people outside of your immediate circle are given towards his capacity to do well, because that's one thing that we have here with ProCoach, is that I have like a team of coaches who I can run information by, because first of all, Kyle's one of my best friends. So it's very easy for me to go, he's going to be the fucking best in the world, you know, because I love him, you know. So being able to kind of look outwardly to the people who I know aren't going to bullshit me is huge. And every single time I spoke to people who I trust in that space, especially in men's physique, you know, they've all said the star power is there. And, you know, it's about time somebody agreed with me because I've been telling Kyle since fucking 2015. You know, a long, long time I've been telling Kyle how good he can be. A long, long time. But you know what? It's actually come at the best time. Kyle's now in the best environment he could possibly be to achieve that. You know, there's only so far you can go living in a, you know, kind of back arse town in Ireland like where we're from. So the fact that Kyle's now here and kind of unlocking that potential day to day, he couldn't be in a better place to get that kind of buffer and get that forward momentum that he needs to take himself to the NPC and then inevitably take himself pro, which I'm fully confident that we can do next year. So stick around, it's going to be very exciting. Very, very exciting. Good. It's a fucking cracking shot. Good. There you go, relax. That's Miles better, mate. Just chilling into it, good. Good, all midsection now, all midsection. There you go, good lad. Good, mate. Take your time. Set yourself. Elbows high here, remember that one. Trust me with the arms higher. There you go. Yes, good. Lock that in. Nice. There you go. Good. That's it. Beautiful. Fucking cracking. That's good as well. That's it, nice relax. There you go. There you go. What's that shit, man? Good. There we go. Good. Cold, man. Very, very, very good. It's good as well because you kind of have that level of fullness to your chest now. You can kind of take a little bit more of a solid look at what it's going to look like when that tissue is there. You know, because that's all it is. Like when you have that chest pump now, like you look far, like more complete than you ever have when I've seen you since we got here.
It's always like that chest pump.
Yeah, it just
for me it's like because it's literally my best body part. It's like when it's not there, it kind of diminishes.
Yeah, I feel that.
Look. But then when it's there, it's like
yeah, it just shows that how much our primary focus now is literally just that top shelf. As soon as that's sitting there like that kind of depth, it's just like it's literally just refinement from there, and then just building that density through your rear shot. That's all it is. If you get too far ahead of yourself, you have to think about the volume of time that a prep actually takes. Like it takes so much time away, and that is such valuable time that you could be growing in. Like the amount of growth that you can actually make in the same amount of time that a prep runs is phenomenal. You know, that kind of way. And if you can dedicate yourself 16 weeks to dieting because it's good for Instagram and it's good for views, you can dedicate yourself for 16 weeks to grow and 20 weeks to grow. You know, because it's good for the actual goal that you say that you have, which is to win a bodybuilding show. You know, because a lot of people don't want to win a bodybuilding show. They want the clout that comes off a bodybuilding show. You know, that's the difference between an athlete and somebody who wants to try bodybuilding. You know, it's the big difference because people don't, bodybuilding's fucking hard. It's just so fucking difficult, you know. And if you go into it with a diluted perception of what it's actually going to be, you know, you will totally destroy yourself, you know, that kind of way. And I think you've spent time on both ends of the spectrum now to appreciate what both ends mean, and then to appreciate the value of how both ends kind of come together. Because you've kind of done the influence thing, and now you're doing the bodybuilding thing, and now you're kind of doing your best to bring them both together. And I think that's a lovely combination the way you're running it.
Yeah.
Which is good. Damn right.
So not too bad. No. I'm like 202, fluctuating between 200, 202 right now.
Yeah.
Get to the fucking what, 270?
No, we'll probably look for a top end body weight somewhere in the region.
225 male.
Yeah, 215, 225, I would say, in a relatively similar composition. But Kyle put on 30 pounds in like 6 or 7 months, not too long ago. You know, like his capacity to build muscle is there. The variables, if you want to call them variables, whatever way you want to refer to them as, the variables that we have in play, or that we have the opportunity to have in play at this point in time, like surface not even been scratched really, you know, like it's like still within that range by which nothing is wild, nothing is crazy, nothing is deemably is like, oh, that's a little bit, you know, like everything there is ready, steady, accumulative, and laid out in front of our feet. Like the runway is already there, so I've every degree of confidence that we're looking at least another, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 pounds of stage weight on Kyle.
We're only 11 months in.
Yeah,
December 1st will be in.
That's crazy.
Last time, so that December 1st will be the first 12 months of where we're like, okay, So it's almost a year of bodybuilding.
Yeah, Skittles.
So we're coming on close.
Yeah, and that was the biggest, like, the biggest shift in the variables that you had in play ever, really, because like it was a turning point in your career, really, because that was the point where it was like, okay, now I'm going to bodybuild, you know. And I think that the return on that investment has been so high already in such a short amount of time. You know, it's similar to like Dan, who we trained with the other day. Like the level of investment by which you can get when you truly dedicate yourself to bodybuilding within the realms of, you know, not being an idiot is so high, especially for the genetic elite. So, you know, quite frankly, the last year and a half or so of kind of training with Kyle and kind of taking him towards this goal that couldn't really go any better, you know. And it's just a case now, just rinse and repeat, you know, because learning those tools as you go, taking those tools on board and then applying them, like that was another variable that Kyle maybe didn't have as locked in because he didn't need to, you know. But now there's this immediate goal of, I want to be a professional bodybuilder, and, you know, professional goals require professional standards. And without those standards, you're so unlikely to hit that goal. So the standards that Kyle sets himself now are far above anything I've ever seen him set, and that's exciting, man.
Right, sweet. So that is push wrapped up. Now, alongside that, you know, we're in AlphaLand. I wanted to keep giving the video a little bit of substance. So posted some Q&A questions yesterday, or posted to get some Q&A questions yesterday. As you can tell, I don't do this very often. So we got a good couple of questions in, nothing too crazy. There's one or two questions before I kind of go anywhere about my personal life. I'm not going to be answering questions about my personal life on YouTube. Whatever you're assuming, you know, probably true. But just for now, I'm going to keep those questions and keep that information away, and I'm going to get to things that are actually going to give people some value. So, jumping into the first question, is advice for someone wanting to start coaching in person and or online. I'm currently studying for my qualification. I feel like everyone kind of has the same answer for this when it's like, you know, coach people for free, you know, kind of like do your time, etc. But like for me, it's just be patient. You know, like coaching is one of the most saturated industries that you can think of, but at the same time, it's not actually saturated with good coaches. This is the difference. You can have many people in an industry, but not all of them are at the top tier of what they do. Now, I'm not trying to say that I'm at the top tier of what I do, but I am surrounded by those who are. And if there's one thing that I've learned from any of those people, is that the primary focus for you as a coach, looking to work with athletes, looking to work with people, is to simply be good at your job. You are not there foundationally to make money. Making money and doing well from a fiscal point of view within coaching will be the byproduct of the caliber of work that you do. And in order for you to do that work and to do it with a level of morality, you need to be giving your athletes, your clients, a level of experience. And that calls for service. And in the earlier stages of your coaching career, you will need to underpromise and overdeliver. You know, you will literally need to do more than you say you will do, because you're trying to allow for yourself to be, you know, stamped in an industry that has so many different names. You know, every Tom, Dick and Harry is trained by X, fucking coached by Y. You know, everyone is. So how are you going to stand out? And honestly, one of the biggest gaps that I find for most coaches, as someone who's been doing this for what, like 11 years, you know, is that they just don't focus on being good at their job. You know, spend less time trying to learn how to be an expert marketer and spend more time trying to learn how to be an expert coach. You know, learn your craft, learn how the human body works, learn how people work. You know, I spent a long time coaching like Gen Pop older females, you know, kind of like what everyone would call old ladies. And I probably learned more about coaching the athletes I do now on like a fundamental human level from them than I ever have from any other athlete I coach since. Because you learn how to understand people who have real problems. You know, missing your cardio session is not a real problem. You know, divorces, they're a real problem. Issues of finances, they're a real problem. Now, I'm not saying that all your athletes are going to run into those issues, but being able to learn how to speak to people about those things and learning how to be open and conversational and, you know, genuinely listening to people, that will create a better relationship dynamic with your clients. And if you can do that and create a level of rapport with your clients, then you will begin to do well. Now, one thing I will preface all of that with is a habit that I've always been into, and, you know, in some people's eyes may not be the greatest habit in the world, is I become friends with a lot of my clients. I just love the people who I coach because I appreciate them so much. They're the ones who are feeding me. So maybe, like, be a little bit aware of getting too close to your athletes too early. But for me, it's always been something that I've done. And, you know, over the course of the time that I've been coaching, I now kind of collectively have a group of people who I'm really close to and I truly care about. And again, that's coming from that source of just focusing on being good at my job. And being good at my job, at least to me, relays on being good with people. The plans are called off season, so the game plan is probably to run at least 9 to 10 months. So like you heard in the previous clip when we were in Gym 3, we're going to try and do the latest round of shows that we possibly can. Now, the beauty with Kyle is that he actually has an Irish and an American passport, which means that he can open himself up to pretty much every show across the globe, really, for the most part. So the people don't fully understand about the US and the NPC within the US, that it's actually a closed circuit. You know, if you're not from here, you can't compete here, vice versa. So the beauty with Kyle is that he actually has the opportunity to go within each one. Now, that'll depend on where he registers, but the game plan will be to run this for as long as we possibly can, allow for a significant amount of time to manage his health in between, and then from that point onwards, look at shows towards the kind of latter quarter of next year. We need to look at lining up your regional, your qualifier, or in this case, in the US, it's a national qualifier. I have my eye probably on kind of like the USAs, the nationals, which happen around this time next year. And the only thing that kind of is not even a limitation, it's a very positive limitation. Kyle won't do a show that he doesn't have to work really hard to win. So the only thing, Kyle, like you can go to some pro qualifiers all across the world, and if you're really, really good and you're at a certain level, you'll walk in and you'll win. But Kyle is somebody who I've known for a long time, and I know he won't put up with that. You know, he wants to go in there and have to beat some really, really good guys by being the best of those good guys. And that's something that I will absolutely hold close to me when it comes to choosing shows, because I know how much this means to him now, and you know, Kyle is one of my best friends. How much it means to me is also the same. So
you have those like text messages. That was like the first thing that I said. I was like, because I'm new coming into this whole bodybuilding thing, and the number one that I see all the time when people are doing them is they pick out like 5 shows and they're going to attempt to do it in all of these shows, whatever. And maybe that's like a little bit of my own arrogance and cockiness like seeping through, but like I told them I don't want to do a show until I'm like, I'm picking these 2 shows and I'm winning those 2 shows. Like, and it doesn't matter who else shows up. It's not a whoever shows up on the day type of thing. It's like I step on stage, this guy's winning. And even if we get to kind of in the later stage of next year, and for whatever reason, we both think that I'm not ready, it's that same thing. I'm not doing 5, 6, 7 shows and hopefully I win one of them. It's I'm picking 2 shows, qualifying and getting the card. That's my frame of mind with it. Whether that becomes early 2025, that's the way that I want to go about it. Rather than do fucking 8 shows and it's like, yes, I finally got it on. No, I'm doing 2 shows.
So this question actually came from the one and only Mr. Alex Toplin, which is cool. Big up, Alex. Hope you're keeping yourself well, brother. And we'll see you soon. So how much time would you like to be working with a new client before starting a prep?
It's a very
open-ended,
circumstantial question.
Yeah, it's open-ended.
Especially as it's a very circumstantial question, especially for a professional prep coach.
Yeah,
because that's like
so the majority nowadays. The majority of the athletes that I work with come to me in pretty close proximity to their prep. Like they're kind of coming to me by virtue of wanting me to prep them, you know, and wanting me to take them through that process. So, you know, I definitely have a few guys who come and they'll take me through the off season. Like I have a lot of core clients who are foundational, have been with me for 3, 4, 5 years, you know, and then a lot of them do come in who want to do the off season into a prep. But the vast majority of people who come to me within the competition season, you know, and what ends up happening there is you end up taking them through the prep alone, really, and then the kind of reverse, and then they stay on. So like, by virtue of that question, I would say it depends on the athlete. Like if somebody came to me who'd never competed before and they were like, I want to prep in 2 weeks, I'm going to push you to one of our other coaches in the team. There's going to be somebody more suitable for that. And that's not because, you know, I don't deem that they're good enough. It's because the level of experience that they have is not going to be high enough for them to actually get the value from the service that I provide. And then B, for me to be fully invested in an athlete's prep, I have to be super excited about the result that they're looking for. And if I'm not super excited for an athlete to go through the prep and get to the end goal, I'm doing them a disservice by coaching them because I'm not giving them all of me. And that's my big rule. I need to be able to give everyone all of what I can provide. And that comes for me by virtue of being excited for that individual and dedicated to that individual's goal. And I physically cannot dedicate myself to someone's goal that is in that earlier stage of development because I've done that for so long. So to kind of answer the question, I would say, like if someone like Alex or a high-level IFBB pro came, like I'll start with you on Monday. You know, like I'm ready to go because you're going to have data, you're going to have experience, you're going to have information to give me. If somebody comes to me and they're gifted and they're just not good enough yet and they just need time to grow and they're like, I want to prep. This happened to me before with a female. I basically said, right, give me a year and then we'll prep. And a lot of the time they're met with a little bit of resistance. I'm like, if you want to be good enough and you want me to prep you, give me a year and then I will prep you. You know, so I would say somewhere in the realm of kind of 6 months to a year in that situation is kind of the amount of time that I would like to gather data prior to somebody getting into a prep, you know. And then if somebody shows up super fat and at the same time I'm like, okay, you're fat and you're probably small as well, then we're going to have to fix that problem first. It's all about looking at what an athlete has, because my other rule with coaching is I don't prep anyone not to win.
That's my main rule. I do not prep anyone not to win. If I'm prepping you, I want you to win. I think you can win. And if I don't believe that that can happen, I will get you to a point where I can believe that can happen. So that's kind of the question there. 2024 goals for ProCoach and for Ross. Okay, cool. Well, for ProCoach as a whole, the game plan is to continue to keep elevating the success of the business beyond where it has. ProCoach is a relatively new company. It'll be 2 years old in February. And, you know, even in the short amount of time that we have been active, the level of achievement and the level of progression that we've taken as a group of coaches, as a company as a whole, as a brand in terms of the representation across the industry and people who are aware of us as a whole, has been pretty crazy. You know, like, to build that kind of level of reputation across what is literally like a year and a half, maybe, sorry, a little bit less than 2 years, is pretty impressive for any company. And I'm very, very proud of all the lads that we have on the team. I'm proud of and appreciative of Callum, who obviously runs and started the whole thing for us, and the consultancy team who've done so much to get us to that point. And at the same time, the quality of the coach that we do have is the product by which we then put the athletes on the stage that we do. Because the reality is, the only reason that people really know who we are is the athletes that we put on stage and the things that they win and the achievements that they get. And, you know, there's no doubt in anyone's mind. You can go on the ProCoach right now and you can look at what we've done in the last year and how this season has gone. You know, we're looking at multiple Olympia qualifications, dozens of pro cards, you know, like 20, 30 overall wins. Like, he just keeps them coming, well over 200 top threes, you know, at least 150 top placings. You know, it just continues to roll. And the reason for that is literally by virtue of the quality of coach that we have. And if we continue to do what we're doing in terms of the delivery, the service that we have, which is another big difference the ProCoach has over other services, that will continue to just grow and it'll continue to develop. And, you know, anyone who knows me knows how dedicated I am to ProCoach as a brand. And, you know, there's other videos on my YouTube where I talk about kind of how that all came to be and how appreciative I am of Cal and ProCoach for what I get to do now, because none of this would be possible. This video would not be possible without Callum, without ProCoach, without any of that. It quite literally would not be. I was very lucky that I worked very hard for a long time and got to where I am. But without that, I think you can do something, I wouldn't be here. So I'm incredibly and truly and wholeheartedly dedicated to ProCoach. And that's something that I think will continue to elevate and just continue to motivate us all to get better. And I can see ProCoach continuing to take a real big stand over here and literally cementing itself in the US. That's something that I'd like to try and do, you know, is to try and kind of get the name spread out across this way, you know, and continue to allow people to know who we are on the other side of the world, and just, you know that there's a service out there, there's a group out there that can deliver at a high level. And then,
I'm your Trojan horse.
yeah, he's my Trojan.
You probably have loads of other American athletes.
No, I don't. I have a handful. But you're my Trojan horse.
I'm the Trojan horse.
I picked you up from the green hills of home. I placed you here, and I said you're going to get big and you're going to make an impact.
I'm a little sleeper agent.
Yeah, he's my little sleeper agent. You know, if I say one sentence, he just locks in and grows 20 pounds.
Yeah.
The word is primo. No joke. No, I'm kidding. And then for me, for me, I want to be as cliche as it might sound, I want to be as happy as I can be. I've had some crazy shit in my life that's kind of picked up over the last couple of months between my family and other kind of personal stuff, and I want to be able to continue to kind of get better and become a happier version of myself, which will be a more productive and a more hard-working version of myself. I let some things slip towards the latter end of the year that I wish that I didn't, but admittedly I did, and I want to be able to improve upon that and, you know, become better, become stronger. In every facet. I want to get back into a level of training and attentiveness to my own health, more so than I have been towards the latter end of this year, and fix that. And then in terms of actual coaching, I don't want any less than 5 pro cards next year in terms of my athletes, and I want at least 1 Olympia qualification. That's my big thing, and I feel like I can do that based off the squad that I have on the team this year and the squad that I know that are going to be coming on in the next couple of months. I'd want to be able to look at, you know, getting 5 people into the Pro League and getting 1 person to the Olympia. That would be huge for me, you know, and then just continuing to deliver a service. And I'd also like by the middle part of next year, kind of towards the latter end, to have a pretty significant bump in my Instagram following, just because by virtue of that, you know, your acclaim goes up, and it's slowly picking up now, and I'm getting to a point where I'm kind of closing in on 10K.
It'll snowball, all those things snowball.
Yeah, exactly. I mean? So yeah, and that's by virtue of results, by content, by doing stuff like this, you know. This is all the breeding ground for what will inevitably and hopefully happen at the latter end of this year leading into next year. But just continue to get better, continue to watch ProCoach grow, continue to watch my boys grow, you know, just continue to just set the standard for the industry. That's what I'd like to do. Set the standard for the industry and allow the industry to continue to elevate so that everyone gets better, not just me. And with that, we're good. Right, and that is it. Thank you so much for watching this. This has been
honestly one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. To be honest with you, this is the first trip I've taken for myself in a very, very long time. And to be able to come here and experience the States, experience Houston, experience some of the boys, big up Izzy coming on board and helping me out today, it's massively appreciated, brother. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. Obviously having one of my best friends come here and do this with me, this has been such an enlightening experience. I feel 10 pounds lighter, even though all I've eaten is Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
So I'm probably 25 pounds heavier.
Oh, we've been eating good food.
I'll be all eating,
good
lifting,
food.
training, laughing, spending time
Yeah.
with people who I got to meet over here and just having a ball doing it, man. So in the meantime, like, comment, subscribe, everything else in between. Tell your ma, tell your auntie. Slán bháile.
See you.